get. There we go. I'm a licensed realtor. I had been for 15 years. I got my license in '07, which was an exciting period of time to get your real estate license. Right when the bottom crashed, I was in Arizona at the time. So believe it or not, what you saw in the news, I was experiencing. Right, I would drive through neighborhoods. There were signs everywhere. 80% of the market over the next 3 or 4 years was foreclosures and short sales, and I survived. Right, and I really mean seriously that it was an education in real estate and how to build a business. Right, because if you're in real estate and you're a realtor, you're an individual business owner. Right, you're building things for yourself. You hang your license with KW, but KW is not your employer. You work for yourself. So there's a mindset that has to happen for a lot of people that they don't think. When I say congratulations on starting a business, people go, huh? What are you talking about? That's where we're at, right? You're starting a business. Now, I don't care if you do this full time with the mindset to take, hey, you know what? I'm going to take this book and go to the seventh level. That's not what everybody wants to do. But even if it's only ever just going to be you, you have to treat it like a business. So what happened on the ground in Arizona in '07 was businesses had to shift quickly, radically, differently, financially, right? At that time, we didn't have a lot of things that we have now, right? We had the local MLS, we had digital things, but we still did a lot of paper, a lot of print marketing, a lot of print advertising. My very first listing happened just as everything was falling out. And this was actually an awesome, at least I thought it was awesome, but it was eye opening for me. I got my first listing. I went out. I was an amateur photographer, so I took my own pictures at that point in time. Right, saved a couple of shekels for myself. Right, being financially responsible. I took this awesome picture of the front of the house. Flag was waving. I caught it just right. It was a beautiful craftsman home out in Arizona. And at the time, we could go back to our office and we could pay $35 to have the listing in the Sunday paper. Okay, got that, paid for it, got it in the paper, go to get the paper on Sunday, and I see my picture and my listing was chosen as the featured listing for the week. Big, like all the little pictures are around a giant picture of my listing. I was stoked. I was excited. I'm like, this is awesome. Went in the office the next day. I had agents come in. How did you get that listing? How did that pop like that? That looks great. It was amazing. Now, I want you guys to open mic, and I want you to answer this question. How many listings did I get? How many calls did I get because of that picture?
Zero.
Zero.
Zero. I got zero. Zero calls. You want to talk about a WTF moment? I was like, what just happened? I got nothing. No, the market was in free fall. I was overpriced by about $70,000. Right? It was a disaster. But it was eye opening. So one of the first things that kind of went away for a lot of agents was print. I mean, people were spending thousands, tens of thousands of print media marketing, magazines,
April, come
newspapers,
on.
all kinds of stuff. Okay?
What?
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 Who? Okay. Yes, I will make fun of people if they open mic. That's okay. So it was eye opening. So the market changed. Now, what happened was technology adoption happened very rapidly, very quickly in those areas Arizona, California, Florida, Nevada, because we had to. We had to adapt. So now here we are, fast forward 15 years later, and technology footprint is at the source, the core of everything that we do. So when you think of technology, you have to think of it as leverage. It's not a silver bullet. It doesn't replace the most fundamental things that were in our business. Right? The most important thing in your business is this. Can't see it. It's your cell phone, right? And your face-to-face conversations. You have to talk to people. You have to talk to people. There's no replacement for your relationship. All the venture capital in the world and the businesses say otherwise, except for KW and a couple other companies, you're the fiduciary. You're the business owner. You're the relationship driver. All the technology does is help keep you organized. So if you were here thinking, hey, Command and Zillow and all these other companies I pay money to is going to make my business explode. You're wrong. You're going to go broke. Or if you get in this business from a lead generation standpoint to think that online lead generation is going to solve your wares, I'm sorry to tell you, you're wrong. Okay? It's just not going to happen that way. You have to be purposeful. Okay? You have to build your relationships. You can write this down. Relationships can make you recession proof. Relationships can make you recession proof. It won't keep you off the roller coaster per se, but if you are consistent in your business, in lead generation and relationship building, business will come. It may not always be the best business, right? Because markets are cyclical, things happen, right? We're dealing with different events and low inventory, a black swan event, a war, or who knows what else is going to happen behind it. But if you're in relationships with people, you will always have business. Does that make sense? Okay. So why command? Why do we have command? Well, it's important to know the journey, the why, right? Gary's incredibly talented and incredibly wealthy, if you didn't know, right? Here's a guy who built a company in 1983 that is now the largest brokerage in the world, and it's not even close. Okay? Not even close. And it's amazing how quickly that has happened. So now 2022, and we're closing in on 200,000 agents worldwide. I was in Austin in 2014, maybe 15, and I remember them walking into the room and they wrote 100,000 on the board. We just passed 100,000 agents. So from 2014 to now, we added another 100,000 agents. That's how quickly we're growing. That's monstrous growth. And then, but it took from 83 to 2014 to get that first 100,000, right? So that's rapid, double improvement, right? So that's when you guys talk bold all the time. You hear, what would it look like if you doubled it? Well, that's what Gary did, right? He doubled it. So he invested in tech. Why? Well, let's take it back a little bit. 2010, okay, we rolled out what we call E-Edge through a partnership with a company called Market Leader. All right. That was a database. That was a website. That was a call system. That was lead generation. That was follow-up. It was actually really, really great and cutting edge for its time. It was a partnership. Partnerships can be good and complicated. They were later acquired by a company that you might have heard of called Zillow. First shot across the bow. Okay? Zillow stopped improving that product. So we were stuck with a system that wasn't evolving and had challenges. We were also later partnered with a company called Loop. Some of you may have heard of them. I really like Loop, right? It was contracts, it was digital signatures. It was actually really good. They were acquired by a company you also may have heard of called Zillow. Two of our strategic partnerships acquired by a company that made their money through lead generation for realtors, who was never going to be a broker. Well, for those of us that could read tea leaves at the time, knew that that was crap, and then Zillow was going to be a brokerage. Guess what Zillow is now, Leland? What's Zillow?
A broker.
They're a broker. They're direct competition. They want to put you out of business. And you know what the cool thing about that is? We funded them. We, the agents, build a company to put us out of business.
To try to.
You know why? What's that?
To try to put us out of business.
Try to, right? And you know why that happened? Because realtors look for the silver bullet. The realtors paid them to do the lead generation business for them. That's the truth. We funded this monster. Now, they have failed at certain things and they've been successful at others. But they're a part of our everyday lives now as we go forward. And they will continue to fight the fight to turn you guys into a bunch of door openers at $50 a pop because they now own a lot of information. So our fight is to keep them out of the transaction through our relationships. They will never have the relationships that we have. They can't. They can't get there fast enough. They can't get there well enough. They're transaction based. And for some people that will work, right? Because they can do digital stuff. They can send them leads. They can send them contracts, and they can open doors because they're brokers now. And they can farm that out to the agents. How much we fight that is up to you. So what Gary did, he invested in technology, made us a technology company, which is a staggering statement, a bit audacious for a real estate company. But his mindset was, we have to change. We can't keep farming out all of our data, which is really what it was all about. Right? It's the data game. Our databases through Market Leader, our databases through Loop, contract information, purchase prices, all those things was getting gobbled up. So we had to adapt. So we invested a ton of money in Command, our platform, and strategic partnerships, because we can't be everything, with companies like DocuSign. So that's why we are where we are now. Your database that will never get sold, and strategic partnerships that they have vetted, right? And just so you know what that means, there's an agreement in place that basically says, one, from an agent to agent standpoint, Command goes, just so you all know, your listings, your lead, your data, right? So if you ever have to go somewhere else or do something else, KW will never keep your information. You can lock and leave and take it with you. A lot of brokerages keep that data. Just understand that, right? If you come from somewhere else. KW doesn't do that, okay? So your information, your lock and leave. Secondarily, when they put vendor relationships or partners in place with companies like DocuSign to protect us from them being acquired to a degree, which we can't necessarily stop, there's a data commitment. Our data. They are not allowed to turn around and do things with our data that we use to do us harm. So they have to make those agreements with us. So that's why some of those strategic partnerships come into place. So we build Command. We continue to build Command, which is also great. So when we had something like Market Leader, we were at the mercy of how quickly they built their platform or changes they made. Now that we have our own, the changes we make are at the beck and call of the realtors, our associates, right? You'll hear us say Command, built for agents, by agents, or by agents for agents, because we listen to our feedback, right? We have labs processes, we mark center tech trainers, we have regional tech trainers, we have agents performing and engaging in developmental processes and giving us real life feedback about how the system works and what else we're doing to it and where we're taking it. So it's a constantly changing dynamic, and it's exciting to be part of that. Some agents don't care, they just want a system that works. I get that, I understand that, respect that, but understand we're in a consistently will always be live data environment as far as our platforms go. And I'll tell you this, Command will work for 90% of the people out there right now. End of story. Most people on this call, most people running big teams, successful teams, Command does everything you need it to do. Is it perfect? No. Are there some people that are using such systems at a high enough level that we're not there yet? Absolutely. We can work through that. However, Command at core will solve and let you do 90% of what you need to do, which is lead generation, follow-up, transaction management, online awareness, business cards, and the most important thing, what consumers only care about is search. You can track their search through your mobile app. You can track their search through their website. You can follow up. You can set tasks. You can make calls. Everything you need to do. You can lead generate. That's a part of the platform, right? I think it's important that you should lead generate, advertise your listings, social media wise, but you have to have a database. You got to start with a database. So those are the things we're going to go over this week are utilizing Command so you can run your business. You're not going to master Command this week. You're just not. And that's okay, right? You're going to learn the fundamentals. You're going to be set up. You're going to be able to use the tool. And you're going to start utilizing day to day. And you're going to get more and more comfortable. And you're going to know where to get help and who to talk to and what trainings you need, whether it's one-on-one or group. All that's at your disposal because everybody learns differently. But that's Command. That's the journey. That's the why. That's what's at your disposal. And before we jump into that, I just kind of want to see, is there any questions, any ahas from what I just shared with you guys? Let me rephrase that. What are your ahas from what I just shared with you?
I can tell you one thing that really hit home with me that I heard from Gary. He said that he's done his business. He's been in the trenches, and he sees it now as his responsibility to provide tools and make it easier for us to do our business, for the realtors to do their business. So that's where this Command came from, is his desire to provide you what you need to be successful. In everything that I see him doing now, it's all about, he's thinking forward. He's thinking down the road. He's looking at the market. He's looking at making sure that the roadblocks that he ran into, you guys aren't running into, which to me, that's a huge aha and pretty cool. So.
Yeah. You gotta understand, Gary could be retired. He'd be drinking pina coladas on the beach with Jimmy Buffett, literally, right? He really could. But he is spending countless hours and money. And I want you to, I kind of want you to take this personally, but not too personally. He cares about your business more than most agents do. So think about that for a second. He cares more about you and your business than a lot of you do. Ask yourself that. How much do you care about your business? Is it a hobby? Or is real estate your profession? Right? It should be your profession, even if it's a dual career opportunity. What is your transition plan? If you have one. Some people will always be a second stream of income, but it doesn't mean you don't take it seriously. I have teachers that I work with that I know, okay, that are doing $16 to $20 million a year in business, and they're teachers. Majority of their work is done on weekends and summertime, and they rock it out. But they're systematized, they're organized, and they're relationship based, structured, accountable to their calendar. You have to be. Can't let the tail wag the dog. All right, so with all that being said, let's kind of jump into a couple things today, okay? I'm going to share my screen with everybody. If at any time you have a question, my audio is kind of low. Let me check my box here. Thanks for the heads up. If you ever need anything, just like this fine young gentleman, Shane, appreciate you, buddy. Have my mic. Is that better? I had to change
better. Yeah, okay. It's a lot better.
The problem with tech is tech happens, and sometimes when I log in, it picks up the wrong mic. So it was actually running through my speaker. Sorry about that. But if you ever need anything, you got a couple options here. If you guys know how to use Command at this point, it's only been 2 years, or Zoom at this point, it's only been 2 years, right? So across the bottom of your screen, there's a reactions button where you can raise your hand. So if you have a question, raise your hand. If I can pause and answer the question around the topic, I will. Okay, or I'll come back to it and ask questions. After you ask your question and I've answered it, lower your hand. Some people forget to lower them. Or you can throw things in chat, because I have these awesome people called Market Center Tech Trainers. They're along for the ride with us on certain days, and they may answer your questions inside a chat, or your fellow associates may know the answer to that, and they may answer it inside of chat for you. So chat is also at the bottom of your screen. Keep that open if you can. I understand some of you are only on one square. I have the benefit of having 3 screens in front of me. So if you need to minimize my smiling face, I don't take that personally, so you can see what else is going on. But those are your tools. Any questions before we jump into what we're going to get started for the week? All right. Well, let's get rocking and rolling then. Let me share my screen. Screen 2, share. Okay. This here, and share. No. See, even I make mistakes. There we go. I am recording. Went over the big Y. Market Center Tech Trainers. Okay, so 2 years ago, as I mentioned, I am a licensed realtor, and I have been for 15 years. But around 2012-ish, I was in the Market Center. I worked out of the McLean Market Center through Great Falls, and I was training on eEdge and Facebook. And at the end of the class, I had somebody ask a question. How much would it cost if we just paid you to do this for us, right? Because agents like to write checks, right? If you ever want to make a lot of money in real estate, create something that a realtor can pay you for. I'm just saying. Facts. Right, Shane? No. So I brought out a number. I'm like, sure, I'll charge XYZ an hour. I didn't say enough because people were lined up at my door, but it made me realize there was an opportunity here. Another revenue stream. Right? There's lots of ways to make money in real estate other than just buying and selling real estate for somebody, right? I knew that because I read the Red Book. Anybody read this? Anybody seen this before? If you don't have this book, okay, TL's cover your ears. Go talk to your TL and tell them you want to copy the book.
Ask
Dave
your TO for it right now.
What's that?
I said, if you don't have it, definitely ask your team leader. They'll provide it for you.
You tell them, Dave Donaldson, regional tech trainer, said, get your copy of the red book. Read it, highlight it. Now, this is I have the teacher's edition because I used to have the regular edition. And I think I gave it to Shane. It's all highlighted and Shane stole it from me. And I lost it. So now I have a teacher's edition, which is awesome. Just means it's tabbed. You can take more notes in it. Get a copy of that book. Right? It'll change your life. So what happened was I started training. I started becoming an e-edge ambassador while I was selling in real estate. And then in 2014, I started training in a market center they were launching in Falls Church. The book, the red book, Millionaire. Somebody put the, hey, Leland, put a link or put the name of the book in chat for me, will you? Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller. You might have heard of him. Literally wrote the book. All right. So I started training in Falls Church while I was actually in, anybody here from Loudon Gateway besides Leland? That was my home for a little while. I was in Loudon Gateway, right? I got a lot of people. I live in Ashburn. I live like 7 minutes away from that office. So every now and then I drop in there, right, Leland? So Falls Church hired me in 2016 to be a full-time instructor. One of the first market centers that actually did that in all of KW. I was a full-time technology consultant, business coach, instructor. Fast forward to 2019, KW decided to roll out Command on a bigger scale and put a regional tech director in each region. So I was asked to kind of take over that for our region because I had kind of done that in my role and they wanted to replicate that across 28 market centers, which is what we have. So now I oversee the region and there are 28, well, there aren't, as you can see on the screen, there are 28 market centers, but there's a representative similar to me in every market center, almost. And they are called your market center tech trainer. So if you don't know who it is, it's on the screen for you. Okay. So yes, there's a couple of market centers. Kingstown, McLean is in transition. And there's a couple others that are in transition that are replacing those roles. That's your go-to person. That's your person. That's your world for technology at your market center level, right? Onboarding, orientation, training, they're going to answer all of your command questions. And at the end of this week, you should have a one-on-one with them to kind of fill in the gaps, right? The expectations is you learn enough this week that they're not telling you where to go find your password in your email, a lot of fundamental stuff. They want to start taking you to the next level. So your market center tech trainer, and a lot of you are in a PC program where your PC coach is going to take you there too, because they're going to help build your business. Right? Those are the two most people in your world if you're brand new or green to real estate. If you're transitioning from another market center or you've been in production for a while, right? Talk to your team leader, talk to your market center tech trainer. Heck, I will even have R2s for some people that are transitioning at a certain level that I'm a valuable resource for you to do. So talk to your team leader, your market center tech trainer, and all that comes together for you. You're never alone. There's always somebody or somewhere to talk to about implementing this tool in your business. You're not on an island. And that's one of the things that makes KW unique is that we literally have somebody in just about every market center, or that's our goal. Other brokerages don't do something. They might have somebody regionally or globally, or no, we actually have a person. So give me a digital thumbs up. Do you know who your person is now? Those aren't digital.
Oh, yeah.
That was a test and you all failed. Except for Barbara. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Megan's like, I don't know what to take of this guy. I'm just going to sit here and be quiet. So for those of you that don't have your cameras on, you're wrong. And I'll call on you anyways, because that's how I roll, right? I look for engagement. If I'm not in the classroom with you and I have to do this through Zoom, which allows me to do a lot of things, I will still call on you. Okay, David? You can be dark and similar like you're in witness protection if you want, but I'm still going to call on you. See?
I'm sorry. I am in fact here. My kid's sick. I just ended up. I don't want y'all to have to watch Paw Patrol all morning instead of a presentation.
It's all good. But I just want you to know that I'm aware of all of you. Tanya, Caitlin, Felicia, Fariba, Karen. It's all good. All right. So everybody now knows who the market center tech trainer is. They all know who I am. And if you didn't, now you know. Loud, obnoxious guy that teaches tech. Okay, that's me. So we have a couple of platforms, right, that we're utilizing. And we're going to jump right in for first off, because I want you guys to just do a couple of things that we'll come back to, but this is an action step for you. Okay, first and foremost, what I want you to do, we're going to go, and if you haven't done this, okay. Yeah, I can see it. What I want you to do, you guys have one of these, right? It's called a phone. Everybody have one of these newfangled devices? Okay, excellent. If you haven't done this yet, I want you to do this now. And I don't judge Apple people, but for those of you proficient Droid users, okay, I want everybody to either go into their Google Play Store or, that iCloud thing. And I want you to download KW Command Mobile. If you have it already, that's okay. If you don't have it, I want you to do it now. Search for KW Command and download it. It'll be a red app with a white KW. And when you've done it, or if you've done it already and you have it, give me a thumbs up. Digital thumbs up, people. Joy, digital. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Lots of thumbs up, awesome. I see a couple of people are downloading, so we're going to give them a minute to do so. So Command Mobile, well, I just want you to download it now. Okay, as you learn Command, the majority of things that we do that you learn, you're going to have access through your phone now, because being able to do things and track them in the field is important. Who do I need to call? Who do I need to email? Right? Who am I having lunch with? Tasks, phone calls, emails. When you do those things, tracking that communication, being in relationship with people is important, right? So if I call Kate and I have a conversation with Kate around doing something in real estate, I call her from my phone, I want the system to remember and know that I talked to Kate. So when I open up my Command app and I say call Kate, it'll call Kate. And then I can check off the task and it says, it's going to give me options. Did you call Kate? Did you connect with Kate? Did you leave her a voicemail? What did you talk about? And I can take a quick note. So I talked to Kate. We're meeting on Thursday at 1 o'clock. That all syncs back to my database, right? So that allows me to track things from the field. Now, if I just call Kate from my phone, right? I look her up as a contact on a call, nothing happens. It doesn't know. So you have to be conscious to be in your tool, your Command app. So put them on your home screen. And every time you're talking to people in your database, open up Command first and call them through there and track that communication. It makes common sense, but it's a step that you haven't been doing. And even if you had Command, let me see this. If you currently have Command and knew that and are doing that, let me see your thumbs up. Digitally, rookies.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah, Shane.
Hey, is this MC also or just regular Agent Command for the app?
Command only.
Okay.
Command only. So it doesn't work for recruits yet unless they're in your regular database. Don't have it developed. So for those of you that are on the call that are leadership, there's Command, which is your agent associate database, and then there's Command MC, which is we use for recruiting pipeline. They work very similar. We just do not have the app for that side yet, and I don't have an ETA for you. Sorry, bud. All right. Now, the second thing I want you to download, now that you've all downloaded Command, I want you to download what's called the KW Realty app. Okay, so go into your store, and I want you to download KW Realty. It'll be a white app with a red KW. Let me see your thumbs up if you already have this app. If you don't, go ahead, take the time and do it now, please. Let me kind of explain to you the differences of the two. So the Command app is your app. It's your tool to engage with your database. The KW Realty app is search. It's for your consumer. Okay? It's for your consumer. What does that mean? It's for your clients to search for real estate. Oh, errors with loading. Command or KW Realty? For Reba. Command. So depending on when you joined your market center, okay, or if you're actually on your market center roster or not, Command needs to know that you're actually in the system. So if there's an error loading, I would have you check with your NCA or market center tech trainer to make sure that you're in white pages and are actually a recognized agent at this point. sometimes there may be some paperwork lapses that has to catch up, technologically speaking. Those are things that can happen. So if you've been in the business a little while, you'll know this. Our clients search for homes on Zillow. Our clients search for homes on Realtor.com. You want to win them over to using your tools so you know what they're looking at. So the KW Realty app is your replacement for them, okay, if using Zillow or Realtor.com. And when you log in to the KW Realty app, here's a mindset you have to understand is it does not know that you're a realtor, okay? When I log into my Realty app and search for property, it doesn't know that I am actually David Donaldson, the realtor, okay? It's going to look at me like I am just searching for real estate. So when you create an account on the Realty app, don't try to log in with the command, user ID, and password because it's not going to know what that is. So you have to keep your mind that when you create your own account, which you should, okay, you're looking at it like a consumer would look like. So it's going to ask you to create an account. It's going to ask you to log in. It's going to allow you to search for properties. But just understand that there's a disconnect there intentionally, right? Because that's for your consumers. Now, we're going to come back and talk more about these things later, but I want you all to have these two devices and start playing with them, right? Technology in general is important. And I always love this. And it's a funny question, but it's true. When you all got your phones, did you all go to school to learn how to use your phones? Right? Did you go to the Verizon store and take the Droid class? No? I was the only one that did that. Did I go to Facebook school to learn how to use the Facebook app or YouTube? It's a funny story. I went to college with a guy that founded YouTube. Don't know him, but I did go to college with him. Right? But when it comes to technology, I get this all the time, right? If I had $1, heck, at this point, 50 cents for every single person that got on one of these calls or I met with one-on-one and said, I'm going to be the worst student because I don't understand technology that you've ever had, I wouldn't have to teach these classes anymore. True. But people use their phones all the time. Don't be scared of tech. Tech's like a 4-letter word, right? I didn't curse, but tech's like a 4-letter word. People are scared to death of tech. Don't be. It's leverage. That's actually, I like to call technology is actually leverage. It's just an app, right? And command, think of command as a platform like your cell phone. And inside of command are applets or apps, just like your cell phone. Just got to throw yourself in it. Get rid of that limiting belief. If you've been the bold, throw that monkey out of the way, right? Get rid of that limiting belief and understand it's a tool for your business that you're just going to use. Don't be paralyzed. You can't break anything. You can't screw anything up that we can't undo. So don't let yourself be scared by fear. Just throw yourself in and use it. So your KW Realty app, just start using it. Start using search, start creating savings, and you'll see what that looks like so you understand what your consumer's experience is like. Because that all ties back to command. So when you create an account, it'll tell command that, hey, a new person just created an account. That person is you, by the way. They just don't know that it's you, right? You do. So what I did, I created it under my son's name, just give myself a lack of clarity. So my command app account for, not my command app, sorry, my realty app account, my demo account is actually under my son's name with like a Gmail account I don't use for my business. That's how I did it. Outside of Fariba, and Fariba, we'll get you there, okay? Did anybody else have challenges downloading those two apps? We good to go? Awesome. As the week goes on, everything's a build upon mold, right? So I'm going to tell you at the end of today, that KW Realty app, the search app, if you go under the more button, there's a share button. I want you to share that with 10 people. I want you to share it with 10 people every day this week. I want you to go and do this right now, just so you see what it looks like. I want everybody to open up the KW Realty app, click on the more button on the bottom right-hand side. Okay. Then you're going to see a screen with your agent at the top. Your agent is you. And a little further down, it's going to say share app. Does everybody see that? Give me digital thumbs. Awesome. Now that share app is going to ask you who you want to share it with. It's going to look at your contact list on your phone. Hit share, And then a text message is going to pop up that has a unique code, right? The first time you downloaded the app, you had to go find yourself, right? It asked you to search for an agent. When you share it with that link and they download it, it'll automatically brand you to them and they won't have to search for you, which is awesome. Okay. Now that text message that pops up in that box says something along the lines of, hey, Megan is my realtor and here's the app that I use to work with Megan to search for real estate. Remember, I told you the app doesn't know that you're you. So it sounds a little funny because you're talking about yourself in the third person. Just change the text message, right? Just change that default text message. Instead of saying, hi, this is Megan, or, Megan, my realtor, just say, hey, Joe, this is Dave. I wanted to share my app with you. Now you can't save that default, right? It'll always pop up that way. But most of your phones now, you can create a text code or a text message and just copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. So you take that text message that has that unique code identifier, kw.com/app/KW, a bunch of numbers. That's your unique identifier. Copy and paste that message to everybody. Send it out to everybody in your database. That's your best bet. That one-to-one request, whether through contacts or through Facebook or Instagram or any way you can instant message people, asking them to download is going to happen. If you do it in bulk, people don't take action. One-to-one conversation, relationships, people take action. And you can spin that message, right? Depending on who that person is. If you just say, hey, here's my real estate app, download it, they're not going to do it. But if you said, hey, check this out, I've got this new app, I'm beta testing it on a select group of users in my world. And Eric, I've chosen you to be one of my people. Would you do that for me? Test it, download it, utilize it. Let me know what you think and share it with others if you like it. It's all true to a degree. It's new to you, it's new to them, right? But they want to help you. Right? If they're your core people, they're gonna be like, yeah, I want to download this, Dave. Absolutely. I'm gonna mess with this, I'm gonna break it because they fight for you. Does that sound about right, Eric? He's like, yeah, I'm not responding to this guy. All right. But if they're people you don't know, Eric, go ahead, you're on mute. Go ahead.
No, sorry, I missed your script. I was playing with the app.
Right, but I was just giving you a script, right? Like you share that app and you encourage people to download it because you're saying I'm involving you in a beta group because they know who you are already. And you're saying, hey, download this app. Let me know what you think. Share it, play with it, test it. It's new to my business. It's exciting for me. I want it to be exciting for you. They're going to do it. Right? So choose your words and how you share it with people. What you say matters. If you just go through the action of just sharing it, what do you get? Right? You have to.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way. I get something and I immediately close it. And so I understand. You got to make it personal.
Make it personal. The time is worth, right? The juice is worth the squeeze. However you want to utilize that mindset, it does matter. If I bulk email, bulk text, it's the law of numbers. You'll get some, but it's unpersonal. This is a funny story. So Falls Church, my market center, is a Buffini-driven market center, right? Buffini is a style of communication in referral management, right? Resources, working on intentional business relationships with people. Now, I didn't know Buffini until I joined Falls Church, but organically, inertly, I was a relationship guy. So I really was a Buffini guy. I just didn't know what it was. I was a relationship-based person, and I followed up. Now there's a thing for it. It's called Buffini. I didn't know, right? So you're intentional, your communications, you're in relationship, you're talking to people, right? You're building up that sphere of influence. Talk to them, treat everybody that way, and you'll get more engagement. So I want you to do that for a minimum of 10 people or more, and you'll be surprised how quickly when people start adapting and utilizing your technology. And here's a great thing. When we talk about databases, people are going to say, hey, I don't really have a database. I just moved here. I'll be great. How many friends on Facebook do you have? Do me a favor real quick. Throw this in chat. I'd love to see your answers. How many friends do you have on Facebook right now? Throw it in chat. We'll get you there, Kate. Don't worry about it. We don't judge. now I'm going to spin the question for you. Whether you have command or not is not the answer. If you have a database right now, how many people are in your database? In your command database or an Excel spreadsheet? I've only seen 2 people respond to that so far. Come on. Less than 50. Facebook, less than 50. Okay. Christine, 125. 3. Okay. Let me ask you this. And there's no right or wrong answer here. Why is there a difference to the amount of Facebook friends you have? And I want somebody to try to think about this and answer this question. Why is there a difference between the amount of Facebook friends you have and the amount of people that are in your contact database?
So Dave, we could add people that aren't just in our Virginia area to our command database and get us in our app all over the country.
Is that a question?
Leading question, yes.
Well, let's go to the root cause. I said, so why, and this is a mindset question. Why is there a difference between the number of people you have friends on Facebook versus the people that are in command? All right, you're new, I'll give you that.
I guess it could be a number of reasons why.
Okay.
Maybe they don't live in the state. Maybe you don't feel comfortable. You don't talk to, I guess, everybody in that way.
Mm-hmm.
That, I mean, off the top, that could be 2 reasons.
All right. Fariba, I see your hand raised. What are your thoughts on that?
Actually, I was going to go back and ask about when you're sharing the app, you mentioned to save it and use the same link every time, or do I have to go back to KW app and share it from there?
You can go either way, right? So you could share one-on-one from the app, and then you have to change the text. But on most of your phones, and it depends on the phone, right? You can write out a text script, and if you just take that link and create a new text around that message, you can just copy and paste it each time you text it to somebody. Most phones at this point allow you to save things to a clipboard and have a hot link to paste that through.
Okay, but now to answer your question, I have a lot of Facebook friends.
Okay.
Many of them are in other countries and
Okay.
other states. And there are a lot of people that I don't know. They ask for friendship and I accept it.
And that's okay. We'll talk in more depth around my mindset of it, but I wanted to hear, because you have to get there yourself. So that's why I asked this question. Thank you for sharing openly. I appreciate that and being vulnerable about that. Megan, what are your thoughts? I saw your hand raised. That's why I thought you had thoughts.
No, I do. Sorry. I was
okay.
finding mute. Same thing. I've had my Facebook since college, and most of them are people that I don't really know. I've just run into contact with and added.
Okay. And just so you guys all know, a little quick hitter here, if you want to chime in, if you actually click on your screen, your picture on your screen, and then hold down the space button, it'll unmute you until you let go of the space bar, and then it'll mute you again. So that's a quick hit. So if you want to talk, you don't have to go, oh, I have to unmute myself. Click on your screen, hold the space bar, it'll unmute you while you can talk. All right, Kate, what are your thoughts?
So I too created Facebook in 2009, and I found myself with like a lot of random people.
Okay.
And so when I created a new Facebook account on Sunday, I specifically chose people that I've had personal relationships with over the years. So I'm being selective. And as for the command, since I'm brand new, I don't have any added contacts yet. So I guess that would be people that you interact with, right?
Sure.
Or I'm not sure, who do you add?
Oh, now I'll give you my spin on it, and I wanted you guys all to share your thoughts, and nobody's wrong, and all your answers kind of fall in line to mindset, right? So let's think about it like this at this point, okay? So we all have it, right? I've got 1,700 contacts on Facebook. I'm not friends with all those people. They're acquaintances, they're relationships with people I've met. Some of them, hell, I have no idea who the hell they are. That's true. So there's a difference between 757 and 1,600, but my numbers are higher. But let me ask you this. Is Facebook a database? It is, isn't it? mindset. It's a database that's a little bit different because you haven't thought of it as a database. Facebook is absolutely a database because you can organize it. You can put people in friends lists. You can target market. You can talk to specific groups. Understand that if you put things publicly, it only goes to a certain audience. But if I separate people into lists, I can reach more people. And this isn't a Facebook class, but I want to change your mindset around some of these things. You can export your Facebook lists. You can import them to command. You can get birthdays out of Facebook. You can get their Facebook pages out of Facebook. We're going to talk to that in a little bit. And most importantly, a lot of people tell me this, and I saw this. My friends are out of state. So are mine. Grew up in Philadelphia, went to college out near Pittsburgh, and lived in Arizona in 14 years. When I moved here in 2012, I knew the grand sum of 3 people. 3. Takes time. It's relationship. 2012, I had Facebook, but I didn't understand it this way. You have faster organizational skills. You now have the ability, your mobile app, and this is why this is incredibly important, works everywhere in the United States, Canada, Mexico, and we're adding new countries every single month. Okay. I can search for properties in Bermuda. I can search for properties in Costa Rica. I can search for properties in London. Okay. So wherever your friends and family are, they can absolutely search for property in the States, and they might be able to search for properties locally to where they are. I don't know all the countries yet. You can go to kwworldwide.com and see a list of the 36 different countries that we have KW market centers. Now, MLSs are different, countries are different, so we're working on that. But don't let that first limiting belief be like, I sell real estate in Virginia, so everybody else should not be in my database. The answer is wrong. Wrong in mindset, okay? Because here's what you are. Well, here's what you belong to. KW is the largest real estate company in the world. Ergo, they are the largest referral company in the world. There are other ways. I started this again. There are a lot of ways to make money in real estate other than buying and selling and representing somebody, correct? My last 5 commissions, 5, all referral based. Client in Germany bought a property in Delaware. Client in Philadelphia bought and sold in Philadelphia. Client in Arizona bought a house in Huntsville, Alabama. Clients in Virginia bought property in Gainesville because I don't want to drive there. Mindset matters. There's a lot of money in a referral-based business, and those Facebook friends that you have all around the world is your referral base. You get them to all use your mobile app. Because when they search for properties in California, you're going to know about it. Because the system's going to watch for you. And then you're going to reach out to them and say, hey, Megan, I saw you were searching properties in San Obispo. Can I introduce you to somebody? What's going on in your world? How can I help? Because here's the truth of the matter. Early on in my career, I would get calls all the time. After the fact. After the fact. David, I'm under contract. And I don't like the advice that you're giving me. What do you think? Can't help you. Legally cannot help you. Now, if I referred them to somebody, still legally I cannot help them. But I've established a relationship with that other agent that I can talk to them. And maybe I've done the research to find the right person. If I don't know somebody in San Obispo, I can research them. You're going to learn about this week through our system. You have access to everybody in command in KW, and you can search and you can see what kind of production they've done. You can see where they live or not live, where they work, where their market centers are. Be intentional with your business. So when I ask you, now you know. You can mirror your databases, pull people. You don't have to pull everybody from Facebook, but you can. I'm not saying you have to, but you can be more deliberate about that. And that's an important concept to get yourself out of the facts of I'm local to Virginia, people I know are 4 hours away or 12 hours away or wherever. Yeah, you got to build a local business to succeed. But starting with a referral-based business pays the bills. There are a lot of people that do nothing but referrals. That's okay. There's great money. There's better money in referrals than rentals. I started on rentals. I'm not judging. I started there. That's how I built that's how I built up. I started with rentals, then buyers, and then became sellers, right? Long-term game. I didn't focus on referrals at first, but now I really am passionate about that because it's an incredible opportunity for a lot of people to think about their database and who's in their world. And you're not restricted by boundaries. You can't sell in California, but I can refer to California. I can't sell in Mexico, but I can refer to Mexico. I can't sell in Ottawa, but I can refer to Ottawa. Tell me, let me see Israel. Before I just had this conversation with you, tell me you knew that. Thumbs up. Digital thumb, Shane.
So
Those people.
So
Go ahead,
Dave,
Leland.
how do I best use command once I've understood the concept of the relationships and how to network and how to really expand my network through that? How do I utilize command in that aspect?
Well, you're gonna have to come back on another day to learn the answer to that question.
Okay.
But absolutely, there's an agent referral platform, right? So there are agents that you can connect with, but also when you're utilizing your database, right? And we're going to talk about that more tomorrow, tagging people. So you can filter people in your database by where they live, right? I'm from Philadelphia, so I have a large contingent of people from Philadelphia. So we're going to do things later called smart plans and target marketing and letting them know about it. And I have strategic relationships with realtors in place up there. I lived in Arizona for 14 years. I've got strategic relationships in place for my database in Arizona because I still feed those people information and I refer to those people. Now, there are people around the world that I don't have agent relationships in place yet, but I do have friends and family using my app in other places. And when I know it, I refer them to other agents, and we will show you how to do that. And then tomorrow, when we get into importing your database and tagging people, you're also going to be aware of who's local to you and who is not. Now, I'm going to pronunciate your name wrong here because I do want to call on you, and I don't want, is it Ansa or Anka?
Anka. You can say Anka. It's good.
Anka,
Hey, I just want to make sure I understand this correct. So if I share my app, the app with someone, do I know when that person is doing research, is doing search on the app that I share with?
As long as you shared the app with them and they actually created an account. So they could actually download the account and use an unbranded version, and you won't know. If they download it, like you went through the experience, you download it and you create an account. Once they create an account and they start searching for property, you will know it because inside of your command, you're gonna be able to track them. So if you send it to Eric and Eric downloaded your app and started searching for properties, you're gonna have track history that every property that Eric looked at, regardless of where it was, if we have a feed, you'll know about it.
So he needs to create an account, correct?
Yeah, so when he downloads your app, it will prompt him to create an account.
Oh, okay. All right, perfect. I can mention that in a text message then.
Yep. Yeah,
exactly. Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
I wasn't able to download the KW Realty app. I have two apps, but I wasn't able to. I think, I don't know. I don't know.
So the
if I
KW Realty app, which is the search app, and the command, which is your database app.
Yes, I have that one.
But you weren't able to download the Realty app?
Yes, I wasn't able to download the KW Realty app. I don't know if I have it already, and I don't find it in my phone.
You might have it already. Certainly, if you search your apps on your phone, look for KW. It'll be white. It'll be white with a red KW. I'd have to check your store. Check with your NCTT, or
I'll
talk
check
after if you have an issue.
Thank you.
Kate, you have your hand up. No, all right, still up. Antoine, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I had the same issue with not being able to download the KW Realty app, and I exited out of it and just tried again, and it did work the second time. So it wasn't taking it at first though.
Perfect. Yeah, sometimes you get out, you refresh, you load, boom, you get back into it. That's a good suggestion. Thank you, Antoine. All right, so that's the app. I mean, that understanding and building your database, that's the core of what we do. But there's a lot of limiting beliefs about who's in my database, okay, and how am I going to communicate with them. We're going to talk more and more about that over the next couple of days. And I'm going to share my screen again, but that's the 2 downloads that I want you guys to do today. So I'm glad you guys did that. And now it is 3 minutes to 10 o'clock. This is a 2-hour class. And I understand that everybody usually drinks a lot of coffee this time of day and may have bladder issues. and I'm gonna go get more coffee myself. So you'll have 3 minutes to step away and come back, okay? We're gonna come back, we're gonna jump right back in at 10 o'clock.
Thanks.
And while we wait for everybody to come back over the next 60 seconds, any questions on anything we went over so far?
Okay, your default mic has changed to.
Oh. Somebody got some echo going on there.
I do. I have a question. Hey, so on my KW app, which is the white
Yeah, it's still listening.
app, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So where do I click to share?
So when you go on the bottom right-hand side, it'll say more.
Yes.
Go under the more button. And you
Okay.
should see you as your realtor at the top. You should have chosen yourself by now. If you scroll down a little bit, it says share.
Okay.
When you hit share, it's gonna that text message will pop up that we talked about.
Okay. Okay.
All right, excellent. All right,
I'll
so
be right back. I've got to let my dog in.
Oh, that's fine. Go ahead. All right, so as we jump back into the second half, I need 3 ahas. If you've been through KW's world, you know how this works. I can't move forward. It's like a paralyzing fear of mine. I need 3 ahas. You got to tell me that you learned something that first hour, whatever it was. Go ahead, Antoine.
I just didn't even like I'm a new agent and I have no database and I've been trying to figure out where to start, and I did not even consider the point that you made about why do you have so many Facebook friends and not people in your database. That is a huge moment for me, because now I know that although everyone in my Facebook friends list will not make it to my database, that is a huge opportunity for me to get started. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and it was an aha for me somewhere along the line that I made that connection. I'm like, gosh, so many people kept coming to me saying I don't have a database, but I'm like, wait a minute, we all have one. We just don't think of it that way, right? We don't think of social as a database, but it's probably the most valuable database that we have to start. Kate, what do you got?
So I agree. Also, during my lifetime, I do know a lot of people, but I haven't incorporated those people to social media. And I think I need to begin doing that because I have had very limited beliefs. So this is all, this is all very informative. Sorry, I just got distracted by something.
Okay.
But yes.
Yes, thank you. All right, Eric, how about you, buddy?
Yeah, I've been playing around with the app, but I just learned that you can actually share it that way in text. So that was, and that you could change the verbiage. So that was great. That's excellent.
All right, fantastic. Well, I appreciate y'all for playing along for the first half. Now we're gonna do a couple other things. So I want you to know.
Joy has a question.
Oh, who does?
Joy.
Oh, I'm so. You know what? You didn't put your digital hand up, Joy.
I did.
Well, go ahead.
You didn't see me. So I wanted to share something that I was doing in Facebook. And what I did was, for example, my daughter is 26 and my son's 23. So that's a price range I understand that a lot of people are buying in. So what I did was I went in their page and then I friended those people to expand more friends in Facebook. And I've been doing that. And also I've looked at people that I'm friends with. And then I also I can tell who they're friends with. And then I add them as friends.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about tags later. And here's what, because tags are what do I have in relationship with somebody? You kind of touched on it there through Facebook, right? What is our relational base? Where did they come from? It's not a lead source, but what do we have in common, right? Are they people from high school? Are they people I graduated? Did I go to college? Are they people I used to work with? Are they from where I used to live, right? Are they through school, right? When we have kids, right? We all lose our identity. I'm Connor's dad or Dylan's dad. Like I have no other identity other than that, or Coach Dave, because I coach soccer, right? So you meet all kinds of new people through your kids. They're the best marketing device ever, right? Sorry, I don't want to go down any fair housing stuff, but kids are a great barrier of entry to meet new people, right? So I target audience and everybody I track, they get a tag. Are they from hockey? Are they from soccer? Are they from Little League? Are they from PTO, right? Are they from school? Are they from my high school? Are they from my graduating class? Those are all things I'm going to talk about later about, but you can do the same things, what we call tags in Command, okay? We have lists in Facebook. Lists. You could take your friends and create lists that are the same tags, okay, as Facebook. So if I have a JHS tag, which is Jenkintown High School, where I went to high school, in Command, and I can then filter. Now they don't talk to each other, so it's a deliberate thing you have to do. But I can go into my friends list inside of Facebook. It's not a Facebook class, but do a little research, right? Self-advocate. I can create a friends list called Jenkintown High School. Now they're two of the same things. And I can constantly be in communication and look at how things are happening. Letitia, you have a question?
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have seen when agent sells properties, they post it in Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
If I rent properties, is that legal to post it as well?
If you do what?
If I rent properties,
sure.
Can I post it in Facebook as well?
Sure, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a listing contract, whether it's buy, sell, or lease. You can absolutely advertise it.
Awesome. Thank
and
you.
we're on Wednesday when we talk about campaigns. We're going to talk about Facebook advertising through Command because they talk to each other that way. So we'll talk about that on Wednesday. All right, so I'm going to give you a copy of the slide deck that I'm using because there's going to be a lot of links in here. Okay, so you guys are going to get an email from me at the end of today with a spreadsheet for building your database with all these slides and all these links. So don't worry about writing everything down or bookmarking. You can if you want. I see phones go up all the time. People take pictures. That's all okay. But I'm going to email you all a copy of the slide deck from today. Is that okay for everybody? Okay. And I also didn't say at the beginning, because I usually get this question. I'm kind of shocked I haven't gotten it yet. Yes, I'm recording. Yes, you'll receive a copy of it. Yes, it will be posted. Yes, you can go back and watch it. I'll give you a link to our Facebook channel at the end, and it'll be in the email that I send you guys. Sound good? Awesome. All right, so what I want you all do now, okay, is go to a website called mykw.kw.com. mykw.kw.com. We're going to move a little bit faster because I'm on my second area, but I'm going to give you some breakdown of some information, and you guys can come back to these things and do some of the activities that we talk about. So I want to make sure I'm sharing my screen. Is everybody seeing my screen? I have this black and red platform up. Is everybody seeing this? Thumbs up. Awesome. So this is mykw.kw.com. This was the platform that we launched, okay, back in 2010. Come on, David. And we're slowly migrating everything from here to Command. But there's still a couple things that are very easy for you to do that I want you to be aware of. You see my smiling face, my little picture right here? If you're looking at your screen and you have your MyKW up, you'll see the same thing, right? Your picture, and right to the right of that, it says profile. mykw.kw.com, your picture, and right next to your picture is a profile. Does everybody see that? Digital thumbs? Thanks, Joy. All right, if you click on profile, it's going to open up a little form for you. Oh, at least it's supposed to. There we go. It's your profile page. This profile page is your KW profile that will push you out to kw.com and a couple of other things. Unfortunately, as we go through, there are 3 different profiles you will have to fill out as we start tying all of our platforms together. And I will explain each of them, but I just want you to know there are 3. This is one of them, your mykw.kw.com profile. I want you to go through and fill this out, right? Your name, your contact information, your cell phones, bio. Bios are important, okay? Let's talk about bio for a quick second. Most of you at some point in time in your careers wrote resumes. We're used to doing resumes that are 1 page long, right? Bulleted items. Think of your bio like an online resume, but it's more in paragraph form. You're looking to establish a relationship with somebody through verbiage. Now, we all have a paralyzing fear, especially for those of us that are new to the business, that I haven't done anything yet, so people aren't going to trust me or want to work with me because I haven't bought or sold or done anything yet. Digital thumbs up if you feel that way. It's okay. I felt that way when I was new, right? That's a true thing. Here's the paralyzing or the equalizing question for everybody. Every successful realtor that you know, and I want you to think about who in your office, or who do you aspire to be, or who do you respect? Every successful realtor in your world, and started at the exact same place you did. 0 transactions. And they were able to build a business. Now, some of them came in and joined teams or had, that's fine. It's a few percentage of people that walked into business because of mom and dad or whatever. Most of them started from scratch. They had a database, they were deliberate, they treated it as a business, but they started with no transactions. So what your consumers are looking for isn't necessarily tell me about your track history. So throw that aside. What they're looking for is a reason to connect with you. Where are you from? Where'd you go to school if you went to school? Where'd you work if you worked? Are you a mom? Are you a dad? Did you work at home? Did you run a business by raising your family? Right? Do you have a doctorate? Did you, whatever that looks like, are we involved with Little League soccer, hockey, baseball, PTO? They're looking for a reason to connect with you. That connection's what establishes that initial relationship. Now, they may over time say, hey, well, what have you done? Then you reference your office. We have listings. We've done this. We've done $1 billion in business. It's okay to leverage those around you. So you are building your own business, but there's strength in valuing and leveraging your market center business too. It's spin. There's truth there. There's nuance there. There's gray there. But that's where your PC coach is going to work with you and how you communicate and how you talk to people. Don't be paralyzed by transactional data. Don't let that interfere with your world. So you write your bio that tells your story. And now here's the thing about writing your bio. Your bio will be long form, 4 to 6 paragraphs, give or take. But you have to be able to take that bio and understand that bios go in different places, right? So we have websites or long form that allows us to post things out without character restrictions. Then there are some places that are restricted by maybe a paragraph. So when you write your bio, that intro paragraph should basically tell me everything I need to know, but if I read the rest, it goes into more detail. And then that first paragraph should be able to truncate it down to 156 characters for apps, right? Because apps give us, if you think of Twitter, it's got 156 characters on my Twitter app. So basically, if you find me on Twitter, it says dad, realtor, cook, hockey. That's me in 4 words. Now, I like to think I'm deeper than that, but I was able to summarize myself in 4 words. That's scary to think of that we can sum ourselves up to, but that's the very bit. So I say write long form and then backtrack to intro paragraph and then take that first paragraph and summarize yourself in 4 words. So that way you always have something to present online depending on the platform, because every platform gives you different abilities to talk about yourself. Does that make sense? Is that provides you some clarity? Megan's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. It's all good. We'll get you there. I promise. All right. So fill all this out. Fill in all the blanks. That's really all there is to do here. Okay. If you got questions about specific blanks, talk to your Market Center tech trainer. And at some point you'll get done and it'll say you're like 95%. And you'll be like, how do I get to 100%? You can't. They took away some of the fields, so you can't actually get to 100% on this profile. So don't trip up over it. Some of you will be there because you're rule followers. And you're like, I'm not at 100% and I'm freaking out here. And I don't know why, but Kate, I'm looking at you here. You just happen to be in the top right-hand side of my screen. I feel like you were somebody with Dave, I'm not at 100% and I need to know why. Am I off base? I feel like I'm right. Huh?
I think you're right.
That's all good. You just happen to be my right screen, right? I look to my right. All right, awesome. Now, the other thing I want you to know is that through KW, we provide you emails. Okay. There are 3 types of emails in your world. We all have them. Well, we don't all have them. We all have one to a degree. Digital thumbs up if you have a Gmail right now. Gmail, iCloud, you've got some sort of free, we'll call it free mail. You've got a free version of email through some platform, right? Gmail, Hotmail, iCloud, Livewire, AOL. Anybody using AOL? AOL, right? At me, Yahoo, whatever. Don't take this the wrong way. Don't do that. Don't use that for your business. Don't use free mail for your business, right? Think about it this way. And we've all seen this, and if this is you, this isn't directed at you, okay? Number 1 realtor in Virginia at gmail.com. Right? I'm giving you an example. Somebody has that, I assure you. It's not me. But that's how people think. They think it's funny. It's catchy. Like, oh, I'm the number 1 realtor.com, or Dave sells Nova, right? Jump into Nova. That's not a business. Don't do that. This is me being personal and real with you. You're a professional. You run a business. Treat your email like a business. Okay, so take that Gmail and use it as a spam folder. Okay, don't use it anymore. We give you an email through KW. David Donaldson at KW.com. That's my email. You now all have it. David Donaldson at KW.com. KW gives you an email. So that's level 2. Level 1 is free mail. Level 2 is KW's email. Okay. It tells the world you're a realtor with KW. And if they go to KW.com, they'll be able to search for properties, right? Which is great. David Donaldson. So your email should be your name at KW.com. Shouldn't be number 1 realtor at KW.com. Virginia does, Virginia's Homes by Dave at KW.com. Your name at KW.com. You're a professional. Please act like one. Okay. Now, you can access that. If you didn't know you have one, you have one. Right, so from this page, you can hover over the word technology. Don't click. Hover. Follow directions. Hover over technology. And it says KW email. Does everybody see that? I'm on my 3rd cup of coffee, so I'm talking fast. I apologize. On the right-hand side, it says sign up or manage. Now, unless something happened in the background or you're so new they haven't done it yet, you all probably will already have a KW email, whether you know it or not. You can click manage, okay? If you don't have one, it'll say, hey, you don't have one, you need to create one. Go through the process, your name at KW.com. If you have one, you didn't know it, and you click manage, you're going to see it. David Donaldson at KW.com, okay? You can forward, okay? So if you have a Gmail or another platform, you can forward your KW to another platform. Do not forward your KW to your free mail. Please, please go the other way around. Take your free mail and forward it to KW. Your Market Center tech trainer can help you with that if you don't know how to daisy chain and forward email addresses together. If you don't know how to access your KW email and you need a password, you can create a password here, right below it. It says create password. Everybody see that? Thumbs up. Did you all know you have a KW email and already access it? Or is this new to somebody? Awesome. If you ever need to change a password, you can do it right here. And here's the great thing. Your KW email is Gmail. So you go to gmail.com, you log in with your KW email and password. It's Gmail. We all know how to use Gmail. So Gmail allows you, if you own a brand or a company, to create a domain. It's called Google Workspace. So the third level of email that you can actually have is your own branded email account. So free mail, right? We said that's a no-go. That's not good. KW is great as your second level. When you build a business, start a team or whatever, you can actually have your own branded email. David@revolutiongroup.com. That was my real estate business. Okay. So I own a domain. I took that domain. I told Google I own it, went through, created a Google Workspace account, and I was able to create a Gmail because I own that company and I own that domain. You actually have to own the domain, which is $12 a year. There's a couple other things you have to do. And this is, I'm not your broker, okay, but I will tell you to talk to your broker. When you get to the point that you're going to build a business and you're going to call it a business, agents love to get creative. Creative can be dangerous. Right, Shane? Creativity can cause you problems, financial. Right, Leland? They cause financial problems when you get creative.
They can. Yes, sir.
You cannot market yourself as a business if you are not one. I cannot be David Taylor Homes if I am not David Taylor Homes. I cannot be Karen Russell Realty or Real Estate Group if you are not. And what does that mean? That means you have to create a business, have an LLC, put that LLC on file with your Market Center for Market Center approval. Follow the rules, codes, and standards that NAR has put out as far as identifying yourself as a business entity. It has to be on file at Richmond, added to your license, and then you can market yourself as such. You cannot just wake up tomorrow and go, I'm Donaldson Home Group, and I'm going to advertise myself that way. Agents do it every day. You will get fined, you will get in trouble, and I'm looking out for you. Fair enough? So here's what I tell you. Plan ahead. I can't stop you from buying a domain name. You can all do that. That's legal, right? But you can't market yourself for anything other than your name or your name realtor when you're a solo agent. And in order to call yourself a team, you have to be your team plus one. Here's my rule of thumb. Go talk to your broker. This is recorded. I'm protecting myself. Go talk to your broker or team leader if you want to go down the path of creating a brand. I want all thumbs up till everybody says, yes, I heard you, Dave. Because there's always somebody that goes right out, buys a domain, and starts marketing themselves and goes, Dave told me to do it. All right. And I've got a team leader and assistant team leader on this call, so I'm covered. Right, Shane? All right, thank you. Leland, we good? Is that a good disclaimer?
Yes, sir. We're good.
All right, fantastic. All right. So have the proper steps. I've had people go down the path and start buying stuff and branding themselves, and then they get upset. I'm like, you didn't listen. You might have been on a call, but your camera was off. You were doing other things. You heard me say something. You didn't actually listen. Active listening skills are important. So that's my personal disclaimer. So that's my KW. I'm not going to go down a whole lot of other avenues here because we're migrating away from here. But so some of you should know that some of your market centers still use what we call an intranet, okay, which means your advertising, your calendar is internal to you. If your market center does that, they'll tell you. And in order to find that, at the bottom, there's quick links. You'll see your market center intranet. And if you click on that, okay, you'll see a profile, you'll see a calendar for you to go through. So typically what happens is if your market center does this, You will probably have a market center orientation to walk you through everything that they utilize, but I just wanted you to know that this was there. Here's your calendar for your market center. And then there's your picture up here at the top. Okay. So just rehash from mykw.kw.com at home, bottom right-hand side, my market center number, intranet brings you here. You'll see a calendar. And then if you click on your picture, which you probably don't have a picture, there's edit preferences where you can update your photo. And actually under preferences, you can actually take the calendar that's here under bottom and forward that to your, that Apple thing or to your professionally utilized Droid platform. If you haven't noticed, I have a thing against Apple. So calendar subscriptions. And I'll be honest with you, there's really no reason for me to have anything against Apple other than all the millennials think that you have to be. So therefore I have had to dig in my heels in the other direction. And it's internal strife with me and my boys. They get all mad. Apple dad, you buy all this. Kate, question. You're muted. Kate, you're muted. Kate.
That's so funny. Okay, I forgot. So I missed something. So how did you get to where you are right now in your screen to that screen?
No problem.
So
So
return.
my KW, so if you're from your home screen, you can click on the bottom right where it says intranet. Right?
Where? Hold on.
It's all right. Home screen.
It's also right there in the middle. Do you see where it says right below his picture? You see reports, then you see my referral. If you look down a little bit further, you see my market center news. Just to the right of that, you'll see market center intranet. You can click there as well.
Oh.
And then when you get here, it's like a secondary page where you actually see the calendar. It's right there. And above the calendar is a picture or a box with your name. And if you click on that, that's where you get the preferences.
Okay.
And
I'll
the
play with
preferences
this
will give you the
later.
ability to sync. Yeah. And I
Okay.
just want, again, this is recorded. You're Market Center Tech Trainer. It's layered.
Okay.
I just want you to know that you hear me saying that you have the ability to sync these things up if your market center utilizes them.
Okay.
All right.
Great. Thank you.
That's all we're going to do in there. Now we're going to jump to KW Connect. KWConnect.com. KWConnect.com. So it's another platform that we have. So I want you to think about this. So KW Connect is our version, KW's version, basically of YouTube, right? It's an internal training and communication platform that KW uses. If you've been in command, which we haven't logged in yet, but if you've been in command, at the top of the command page, you see Connect. We're not fully utilizing that yet. So it's best to go to kwconnect.com, kwconnect.com, and log in with your user ID and password. All your user ID and passwords on our KW systems are the same. All right. So I'm going to show you a couple of things here. Under resources, hover. Kate, you have a question? Is your hand still up? Okay. Hover over resources and you're going to see a couple of things. There's a Connect Live calendar. There's Welcome New Associates. Okay. And I'm going to show you those two first. So training happens at a couple different levels. We do training like I'm doing for you now at the regional level. Your market center will do training for you at the market center level. KW offers training at the KW level. Well, they'll have other agents, trainers, instructors training on a myriad of subjects. It's not all technology related, which is awesome, right? So if you go to the resources, hover, click Connect Live, okay, you scroll down, you're going to see a training schedule from KWRI that'll cover the next couple of weeks. Different topics. Here's my best practices recommendation for you. When you start structuring your calendar, budget time for training. I, at the end of the day on Friday, wrap up my week and set my week up for the following week and look at what's coming up. So you go into here, whether it's at the market center, regional, or corporate level, okay, KWRI, and add training that you want to attend to your calendar. You can click on any of these. You can say, all right, tomorrow they're going command tips for the pros. You can click on that. It'll tell you a little bit about the class. You can say you're going to attend, but basically here's the link where you can log in and attend that live class and ask questions of instructors, right, from different people. Put that on your calendar. Remember this about your calendar. if you've added to your calendar, you found it was important to put it there. Don't let the business drive you away from your calendar. It's okay to tell a consumer, can't meet at 10 o'clock. I can meet you at 12. A lot of new agents panic and go, oh, I'll never say no to anything. Sorry, Jim, we're looking for hands-on command training. Can you let us know if this will be covered in what day? Well, this is command hands-on training. We'll have this every day this week. Is that what you're asking? Not sure. Okay. So this is.
I was on mute. Do you want me? Yeah. So I'm an agent. I'm 15 years in, and I'm looking for hands-on command training for me and my admin to understand how to use command to get paid. We're not new agents, and we don't need, the lead gen and the systems and 30 under 30. So maybe this isn't going to be covered in this class. I don't know.
Well, this class is a week-long class. So every day we cover different topics. So we will get into opportunities and getting paid on Thursday and DocuSign on Friday.
Oh, good. Thursday. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Joe.
Okay.
All right, fantastic. So if you put it on your calendar and you found it important, right, just think about, do I need to erase and replace? If by chance you missed it, don't panic. Most of the classes are recorded and you can watch on Connect live on demand. You usually give them about 2 days to a week, and they will reload the classes so you can go back and watch them. Sound good? Kate, you have a question? Nope. Okay, your hand's still up. All right, so that's Connect Live. Now, for those of you that are new associates, there's a Welcome New Associates tab. Now, this week, we're going to cover just about everything you need to know to get started in the command and get paid and the things that Joe was asking about, right? But you can also go here to see what kick off your experience, because we all learn at different paces. Okay? You can always go back here, and they've done some reworking here, but they map things out, and you can click on things and see where you're supposed to be or what you're doing, or you just want to move faster. You can go to Welcome New Associates and check out all these different help articles. It's very important that you self-advocate for yourself. I don't know how this happened, but somewhere along the line, a lot of realtors decided that they need so much hand-holding. And I love you all, and I love to help you all, but you got to self-advocate. We all work at different speeds. Take ownership of your world. Take ownership of your business, right? Don't always wait for, paralyzed because I can't make a decision. I got to wait to hear from Dave or my Market Center Tech Trainer. Use the tools that we are giving you to find your answers for yourself, and you'd be surprised what you can figure out. And I learned this the hard way because I used to feel I had to answer everybody's question immediately to the point that it became impossible for me to do that. And what started happening is I started following up with people about an hour or 2 hours later. And by the time I got back to somebody, they go, oh, I figured it out. So before you ask for help from somebody, see if you can figure it out for yourself. Be a self-advocate, right? So KW Connect, that's a tool. We're going to talk about answers.kw.com. That's a tool. There's a lot of places for you to go before you actually have to ask for that hand holding. Is that fair for me to ask you to self-advocate? Saves you time. That I can assure you. Only if you allow yourself to be removed of the paralyzation that command can't hurt you, technology can't hurt you, and that it only is leverage. If you still think that you can't do tech, then you'll never be a self-advocate. So you have to throw that out the window. Sound good? Awesome. And it's not an age thing, because I'm old, and I know a lot of incredibly talented, older realtors, and a lot of younger realtors that don't know things. So I used to, that was a limiting belief for myself. I used to think it was an age thing. It's not. It's a mindset thing. All right. So that's KW Connect. So look at the training calendar, look at the resources, go to Welcome New Associates and check those things out. There's a lot of other things in here. Go poke around. I don't even have the amount of time in a year to go through everything that's on this platform. Like I said, it's like YouTube. Okay. Go in there, time block some time for yourself to get familiar with everything, but I highlight the most important things for you guys. Okay. Awesome. Now, the other thing I'm going to tell you, I told you that there are 3 profiles for you, right? There's the KW profile, which we went over already. The second one is your KW Connect profile, which we call agent to agent profile because we're in a referral business. Okay. So there are two places to access that. One is here through Connect. The other will be Command. And I'll show you that in a moment. But you actually see this profile here. This is what the other agents will see. So you're going to have a consumer facing profile and you're going to have an agent to agent or KW agent, not general agent, but KW to KW agent profile. So the reason that's important, when you're new, your bio will roughly be the same, whether it's to consumer or to agent, right? However, over time, the longer you're with KW, that story is going to change because you're going to drink the Kool-Aid, right? Those who've been a little while will laugh and know what I'm talking about. But we have a lot of KW vernacular that nobody knows what the hell we're talking about. You're going to hear about Bold. You're going to hear about Ignite or ALC or ambassadors or cultural, all these different things we talk about and then we do in our world, market architecture, that the general public doesn't know what that is, but other agents do. So you start writing your bio in a KW world about KW technology or terminology, not technology, terminology, and other agents know what you're talking about. So that's where that over time they split. So there's an agent to agent bio and there's an agent to consumer bio. So just know that over time you need two. Does that sound good for everybody? Digital thumbs up, you understand? So when you're writing out your bios, keep in mind that if you've been in real estate for a while or with KW for a while, your story is a little bit different because you may have done things, right? Maybe you were the chairperson for Red Day in your market center. That matters. You've been to family reunion, you've been to mega camp, you graduated Bold 10 times. The general public has no idea what Bold is. Other agents do. So your story is different depending on the channel. So KW Connect, that's your agent to agent bio. Questions? All right, awesome. Thirdly, we're going to go into Command. Access Command through agent.kw.com. Agent.kw.com. Login and password. Mine will default because I've been there. Now, I'm going to show you a couple things today, and then obviously through the rest of the week, we'll take a deeper dive into all these different areas, okay? But I just want to give you guys a quick tutorial of other things that are here for you that you may not know yet. So if you actually click on the red KW in the upper left, so Command, if you remember when we started off, I said Command was what? It's a platform like your phone, right? So when you click on the red KW, what you see on the left-hand side are the applets inside of the platform. Contacts, tasks, smart plans, referrals, opportunities, campaigns, reports, designs, listings, and consumers. And they all mean different things. They're all different apps. Contacts, it's your data bank. Yes, call it a data bank because why do I call it a data bank? Anybody?
Make money.
It's where the money is.
That's for the
right? It's in the bank. The data bank, not the data don't. The data bank. Okay, that's where your money is. So that's an applet. Okay, we'll talk more about that tomorrow. But that's some of the actions you're going to take tonight. Tasks. What do I have to do every day? Who do I have to call? Do I have meetings? Do I have to send emails? Do I have to text somebody? Do I have to follow up? Tasks. If you build it, it will tell you to do it. And the great thing about tasks is it pushes to your Command mobile app. So if you're in the field and there are things you need to do today, on your app, inside of Command, it'll say, call these people today. Email this person today. Follow up with the title company today. Okay, that's all available for you. Smart plans. We're going to jump into that a little bit more tomorrow afternoon, but those are follow-ups. Part of smart plans might be tasks, auto triggers, okay? Set it and forget it, reminders, things that are going to go, announcements, property searches that go out on your behalf to your consumers, invitations to parties or events or movie nights. It's an automatic reminder that you get to custom build for your business to set it. And you never want to, I don't like the word set it and forget it because it's very custom and personal to you, but it gives you structure. A lot of agents don't understand how to or what they should be doing. So we have some things in place for you to make your life easier. Hey, if I know somebody's birthday, the system will tell me that I should call them or send them a card or send them a text. right? If I know that somebody bought a house on XYZ, there's some home entry dates, things that I should be doing to follow up, right? If somebody met at an open house, there are certain things I should do to follow up. The system has some of that pre-coded for you. And the cool thing about that is all of those things you can still custom on top of what we provided for you, because we don't expect you to have to start from scratch. We use the R&D mindset. Who knows what R&D means? Go ahead, Eric.
Research and development.
No, rip off and duplicate. Rip off and duplicate. I love that. People are like, what? No, rip off and duplicate. We're not looking for you to start from scratch. We've done it for you. Now, some of you have your own systems. That's great. You can build those too. But we're going to give you a baseline to start with because that's important. Does that work for you? Awesome. All right. So now, I was context, I was smart plans, I was tasks, referrals. There's a referral platform in here. Every agent in KW, because that KW Connect profile I just told you about, that referral platform, has a profile in here. You have a profile on here. Other agents can find you around the world on a map. They can see what kind of production you've done. All that's there. Don't be paralyzed by that. That's okay. I have actually made referrals to agents that are new to the business and never done anything before. And here's why. I'll tell you why. Because when I looked them up, all of their things were in place. Headshots, bios, social media, they were ready to go. They didn't let the limiting belief of things hold them back. So they were instructed and took advantage of tech. And at the same time, I have looked up agents that have been in the business for years, but have no online technological profile, and I have skipped over them. Because if they're not utilizing social or tech, not even social, but tech in their business, I question whether or not they can represent my clients in the way that I think that my clients should be represented. So don't let your limiting belief of production hold you back. Fair? All right, awesome. Opportunities. Who has a whiteboard in their office? Or who has seen whiteboards around their office? Anybody? Right? Whiteboards are great for the 70s, right? They get real sexy. Yeah, they put tape. They spend hours of putting little black tape and create all these black boxes. I'm looking at you, Leland. All these black boxes, and they have to go in and have to write all these dates and check boxes. And I'm looking at Megan now because she's got a white sweater on. Megan, what happens when you go to erase a whiteboard and you're wearing a white sweater or a white blouse?
It's all over you.
It's all over you, right? Or if you're not, then you get all over your hand. You've got like green and black and red all up and down your forearm. Why do I know this? Because I used to do this, right? Opportunities is your digital whiteboard. You can sit down at your desktop and cast to a television. And good God, if you have an office, I beg you, go to Best Buy, spend $200, buy something out of box, and mount it on your wall and get rid of the whiteboard. Yes, out of box. I'm cheap. Costco, whatever it takes. Okay. It saves you time. You can organize so much better. Opportunities is your digital whiteboard. It's not just transaction to close, it's your pipeline. Who's closing in 3 months? Who's closing in 6 months? What does next year look like? If you put it in the system, you can track it. You set goals, you can track it. If you're reactionary, you're in trouble because you don't have the answer to what's the value of my data bank. If I use the tools and I forecast, and I always know what my roadmap looks like. Utilize the tools. Campaigns, email campaigns. They're similar to smart plans, but most people think of campaigns because we talk about this way, paid advertising, Facebook, Twitter, Google Ads, Instagram. We have relationships with those companies that we can do all that directly from command without having to go to those platforms. And when we lead generate doing those things, those leads come directly into command in our database. So we're not running multiple platforms. Okay. Now remember what I said. I don't want you to build your business off of cold leads. You go broke. You just will. Been there, tried it. You have to have systems. You got to start with those you know, like, and trust you first, and then you build on top of that. We'll talk about that on Wednesday. Reports are reports. Where am I at? What am I going on? Who do I know? Who likes to love? Reports are reports. Designs. Who knows what Canva is? Anybody heard of Canva? Joy? Okay. Karen? So Canva is a design platform, right? Marketing flyers, banners, social media. It's a great little tool. There's a free version, there's a paid version. I like it. We have a version of it. It's called Designs. It's free to you. I like free. I don't like agents having to spend money. I'm all about free 99. I stole that from my friend Eric. I'm all about free 99, right? Don't pay for things if you don't have to. We have 2,000 different templates available to you through Designs. Print, social media, flyers, just listeds, just sold, magazines, all available to you through Command. Just got to learn how to use the tool. It's not hard. It's overwhelming because it does a lot, but it's not hard. We're going to talk to you about that on Wednesday. Listings. We have the KWLS. It's not the MLS, it's the KWLS. All your local listings, actually, all of the listings, I have to change my verbiage. All listings in the world, all listings in MLSs are available inside of KW. That's why you see them on your website. That's why you see them in your mobile app. So the great thing, the biggest difference through Canva and Designs is that if I'm doing a flyer for a listing on Canva, I have to upload the pictures, right? Inside of Designs, if I'm doing a listing flyer, the pictures are already there because it syndicates with the MLS. So if the listings are in the MLS, I have access to all the photos and all the information, right? Since it speeds up my process. That's Designs, and those are listings, marketing. Lastly is consumer. Mobile app is part of your consumer, okay? Website is part of your consumer, okay? You guys all have a website at your disposal, okay? Now, most of your market centers utilize a company called Scott Leroy Marketing. Scott Leroy sets up websites for you, and if they haven't set it up for you yet, get with your market center tech trainer and say, hey, I need to get my website launched, then they'll introduce you. Either they'll do it for you, or they'll put you through the Scott Leroy setup and they'll set up your website. Website is very basic. Again, agents like to spend money, a lot of money, on things that aren't necessarily necessary. Really in their own minds, they aren't necessary to the general public. Okay. When KW launched their websites, they did a 1 million customer base test. And you know what customers told them they cared about? It was blogging. No, I'm just kidding. They didn't care about your blogs.
Search.
Thank you. Search. They want to look for properties. That's all they give a crap about. But realtors are vain. Don't take it personally. I am too. They care about themselves. They care about what they've done. They care. I want to talk. I want to be heard. Yes, that's great. Okay. Those are good things to have, and you add them. Your clients care about search. So that's what we focused on. We focused on a website and a mobile app that clients can search for and you can track. That's what's important. There are other things we're going to show you over time. We're going to do other classes outside of the fundamental course. We'll talk about landing pages and things that you can utilize for your platform that make you things more successful, things you can add, but let's get search and play. So make sure your website is set up. Your Market Center Tech Trainer or Scott Leroy will work with you to do that. And they'll just set it up, and then they'll tell you what your domain is. And then once you do that, you have it set, you're going to go, what I recommend that you do is start your branding, right? You're going to go to a company like GoDaddy or whatever, but I use GoDaddy, and buy your domain, daviddonaldson.com, right? Whatever your name is, buy it if it's available. If it's not, you might have to add your middle initial or buy a .net. That's actually what I had to do. I had to buy daviddonaldson.net because daviddonaldson.com was already taken at a different time. And that will be we can make that your website once we launch your KW website. And then once you own that domain, that's when you start to build a business. You could also turn that into your email address too, david@daviddonaldson.com. It's redundant, but or David@Revolution Real Estate Group if you bought Revolution Real Estate Group. So you can take those things in place. You don't need an LLC in place to use a domain if that domain is your name. If your Donaldson Realty Group is your domain and you are not an LLC, you could get in trouble for that. Okay, Karen? So what I recommend that you do, if you have a domain that is not your name, as a solo agent, all you legally can market yourself as your name or your name realtor. That's it. If you have anything else, talk to your broker. We're good there, right? We covered that. Cover your broker. Karen Russell Homes, if you are not Karen Russell Homes in an LLC, you could get fined. Now, somebody would have to turn you in. It's not going to be anybody on this call. It's not going to be me. Okay, I don't want to paralyze you by fear. But if you are not Karen Russell Homes as an LLC, you could get in trouble. Talk to your broker. Sound good, Karen? Awesome. All right, so as we wrap up today, I'm going to come back out to my slides here. We covered KW.com. We covered Connect.com. Remember, you're getting all of these slides, so don't panic. Okay? I'll walk you through command setup. Actually, I'm going to show you a couple other things real quick on command. We got a couple minutes. So I'm going to come back to my command homepage. Normally, I'm not ahead of time. I'm usually behind on time, so I'm doing pretty good. All right, so from my homepage, I'm going to show you guys something you guys can do. Is everybody on their homepage? Agent.kw.com. Is everybody logged in? Awesome. So on the right-hand side, you see where your picture is, or if there's maybe not a picture yet, it's just your name and a little drop down. I want you to click on the drop down. See where it says profile? This is going to be very confusing. This is why I have to point this out. This profile is your agent to agent profile. It's not your agent to consumer profile. You can go in there and you can edit that. And it's the same as the profile you were working on in KW Connect. They talk to each other. That's not your marketing profile. Your marketing profile, which is something you need to work on, that's an action step for today. Under settings, so you click on your name, go to your drop down, go to settings. Okay. Let this load. Every time I'm streaming, everything's a little bit slower on my side. All right. And on the left-hand side, there's connect settings. Go to your name, click your drop down, click on settings. Once that loads, on the left-hand side, you've got connect settings. So everybody see that, either on my screen or yours, doesn't matter. Then it says marketing profile. Okay. You guys got to build this out because this will push across to your website. It'll push across to your marketing material, push across to your designs. You guys spend some time in here, okay? You have to add a photo. Look, I'm not a photo on a business card guy or girl, right? That's not what I do. But online, you need a likeness, right? People need to know who you are. And I know it's a scary thing, and I respect and I understand and do and be you. But the system's going to ask you for a picture, right? Because your consumers are going to expect when they look you up online that they can place a name with the face. Don't ever go meet anybody that you're not comfortable with, but this is part of the world, online pictures and profiles. And I've got to update mine a little bit. Use a recent picture. There are agents out there that have been using things for way too long. Don't be one of those people, right? Leland, if you see his picture, he has hair in his, right? So Leland's got to update his picture. Shane too. Shane's picture looks like the tiger from LSU, right? That's his profile picture. Right, Shane?
Go Tigers.
So, in case if you guys don't know, anybody know the tiger from LSU? Shane was the tiger. Isn't that cool? Shane was the LSU tiger. So, make sure your profile looks like you. All right, fill out your name, your contact information. I love this. Actually asks you for a military affiliation. So, from an agent to agent search side, you can find other agents with like things in common. So if you were in the military or your spouse was in the military, you can tell the system, right? And other agents can search by those because they have that in common. I love that about us as a company. We're very military forward. We have a lot of things coming down that pipeline from a military standpoint. But so put that information about you, right? See, and I love that it actually asks military spouse, right? Because that, whether whoever it is, military spouse, significant other, is also an incredibly important person than the person that's in the service. So I love that we ask either way, were you service or were you serving at home for the person that was overseas? I just love that. Anyways, so your bio, this bio is your agent to consumer bio. So this is you talking to the general public. Contact information, your broker's logo, your Market Center Tech Trainer or ASC or DFI or TL, they give you a logo to use in your branding for your Market Center, if they have one. Compliance, get used to this. Everything that you advertise has to have the disclosure. Each office is independently owned and operated. It's on print, it's on your websites, it's on your business cards, because all KW offices are franchised. Each office is independently owned and operated. That's part of your branding. Forget about the legal footer. If you're on social media, you can put your links here. You're going to have a Facebook business page in order to do Facebook advertising. I'm not going to teach you this week on how to build a page. It's another class for another day. If you don't have one, you can do a Google search of how to build a Facebook business page, or I recommend that that's a conversation you have with your Market Center Tech Trainer. They can walk you through that. But when we get the designs on Wednesday and campaigns, paid advertising will only recognize businesses. Your personal page is not a business. Your business page is a business. And you can only have a business page if you have a personal page. I get that question a lot. I don't have a personal page. Can I have a business page? No. You have to have a business page. Your business page is an offshoot of your business, of your personal page for social. Okay. And Google Analytics tracking ID, I will sum this up in this capacity. If you know, you know. If you don't need to know. If you know, you know. If you don't need to know. I'm going to go there and keep that simple for you guys. All right. Now, if I come back to the home page, we got 5 minutes, right on track. Other things I want to show you on your home page. All the way to the right is a question mark. That's help. If you click to the question mark, why is my screen wonky? It's weird. There we go. When I click on the question mark, it's going to be some options here. Guided tours. I told you we all learn at different speeds, right? Some of you are learning just by listening to me talk because I've got a smooth sounding voice and you're all hearing what I have to say. Some of you are going to have to go back and watch the videos and pause, repeat. Some of you are going to have to go to that Welcome New Associates and click through some of the step-throughs and do more step-by-step type of driven stuff. Also here we have a guided tour. Guided tours are by the different applets, right? And you can click on these. And what happens is when you click on the applets, you get these purple boxes. And that will walk you step by step of what you're looking at for the first time. And the cool thing is when we roll new things out, sometimes the purple boxes will just pop up for you as we're starting to walk you through the new things that we've released inside of Command. So just another level of getting help. Okay, that's under the question mark here. Okay. Now, also, I'm going to share with this a new link, which will be on your page, but I want you to type this in answers.kw.com. Answers.kw.com. So if KW Connect was YouTube for KW, okay, answers.kw.com is Google. It's a fact-based page for all things. You see Command App. You can search by, if I am, so you know, we'll learn a lot of this later, but if you use DocuSign, you can search by DocuSign, right? So I can see here's all my topics about DocuSign. You can follow a topic. We update these articles all the time. So when I talked to you earlier about being an advocate, use the videos, use the help, go to answers.kw.com. Do all these things first, right? To see if the answers that you're looking for are already there and provided for you. This is probably the most incredible tool and most underutilized tool that we provide for agents, because they just don't think to go here and look things up first because they got so accustomed to just asking for help. Yeah. So answers.kw.com. Command. And if you literally go to Command, it breaks down by applet. Access, Command, contacts, opportunities, smart plans, designs, campaigns, consumers, tasks. Everything we're going to teach you this week is broken down into micro lessons in here, right? Because we all learn at different speeds. So I want to make sure there's a solution out there for everybody of how we do things. Now, when it comes to Command support, okay, Whenever command is not doing what you want it to, people think it's broke. It's broke. That's the default. It's broke. Dave, it doesn't work. Maybe. The answer's going to be maybe. I will tell you this. They usually fall into 3 buckets. Okay? Here's your 3 buckets of it's broke. 1, you haven't been trained on how to utilize it yet. Whatever it is you're trying to do, you don't know how to do it. So you research, you can't find your answer, you can ask your market tech trainer. They're going to see your question and they're going to recognize it as a training opportunity. They're going to show you how to do it. So it's training related. That's about 75% of the questions we get are training related issues. People say it's broke. No, it's a training issue. You don't know how to do what you're trying to do. And that's okay because the system does a lot. The second thing, what you're asking it to do, it doesn't do yet. So therefore, it's a feature request. You're trying to get it to do something that maybe makes sense that it should do, but it's not built yet to do whatever you're looking for it to do. So that's a feature request. Your Market Center Tech Trainer will let you know what you're asking for, Eric, is a feature request. And we can submit that feedback, and you can submit that feedback, and you can get other agents to vote on that feedback. Because believe it or not, Gary and Carl and Jason look at, here's another website for you, kw.ideas.com. It's actually, is it Don or is it ideas? kwideas.com. Nope, it's kw.ideas. Come on. What I'm getting made a liar of. This way. From the dashboard.
Isn't it kw.com/ideas?
No, it's actually should be kwideas.com.
Yes.com. Okay.
Should be, unless they change something on me. Which happens sometimes when I'm in training. Ideas.kw.com. Thank you, Barbara. See, I'm the tech guy and I screw things up too. Ideas.kw.com. If you go to ideas.kw.com, you can provide a suggestion. Or you could search for something you're looking for it to do, and other agents may have already recommended it, and you can vote those things up. That's an incredibly valuable tool because every Monday, Gary, Carl, and Jason will go through here and say, hey, what are the agents looking for that we don't have yet? And then we'll talk to the development team and see where that is on the development table and how hard is it to do and what's the time frame and is it, and they update these things with it's in progress or we're working on it, we're looking into it. That's why we say built by agents, built for agents by agents, because we listen to the field. So that's a great aspect for command, okay? So answers.kw.com, that's your best thing, okay? And the last bucket, if it's training related, is bucket 1, feature request is bucket 2, and bucket 3 is, yeah, something's not functioning as intended. You send in what's called a support ticket. Now, I will always tell you to go to your Market Center Tech Trainer so they can give you clarity. They'll either say it's in bucket 1 or bucket 2, or it's bucket 3, not functioning as intended. And they'll either say, yes, we're aware of this and we're fixing it. Because there are other influences that happen. Last week, we had an Amazon or an AWS, Amazon World Services, which is a cloud-based platform. Those people don't realize how much money Amazon makes through cloud services, right? Was down. So that affected command. Sometimes Facebook goes down. It'll affect things you're doing for command if you're running paid advertising. People say command's broke or DocuSign's down. Those are our partners. Sometimes that affects our platform out of our control. And we'll let you know, hey, yeah, we're aware of this. We're working on it. And they may say submit a ticket. So at the top of your page is a submit a request. What's wrong? What have you tried to fix? Who are you? What's your email address? Do you have any screenshots? Tell us what's going on. I'm going to tell you there's a platform that makes everything easier. You guys write this down. It's called Loom. LOOM.com. Loom.com. I put it in chat for you. Download it. It's free. A lot of agents get in the habit of either try to tell me what's broken, and I don't understand what you're saying. It's hard for me to visualize that. or they might attach a screenshot. Screenshots are a point in time, still don't tell the whole story. Video is fantastic because you can talk to me, tell me what you're doing, show me what's happening, okay? And then I can take action. And what's great about Loom is it's a screen recorder. You can talk, tell me what's happening, and then I can try to replicate the issue or send it in on a ticket, and you can send it as a ticket because you don't have to download an MP file. You download a link, you share the link, and we can send it up to the development team, and they can take a look at what you're going. So when you send in a ticket request at the bottom, it'll ask you for a link, submit a recording, and then you would paste that recording for whatever challenge you were having. So Loom is your friend, and it's great because you can actually have it on your phone too. All right, so as we wrap up, Shane, I'll come to you in 1 second, okay, buddy? All right, so I'm gonna come back to my screen as we try to wrap up for today. What's next? So you're gonna get an email from me later today, okay, with a spreadsheet. A spreadsheet's gonna allow you to start building out your contacts from an import standpoint. First name, last name, addresses, social media pages, birth dates, home anniversary, tags, buyer, seller, bought, sold, if they're past clients, right? High
I
school,
didn't realize
college.
that there were two, the second place to go for bio. It's
Yeah.
like shit.
Right, crazy, right? So think about your where you get your build list. We talked about Facebook as being a place to pull data from as one. Think about other worlds. You've probably got Excel spreadsheets on your computer that were Christmas lists or wedding lists or bat mitzvah lists or whatever, birthday lists. You've got lists everywhere. Start harvesting that data so you can build your list, so you can build your database. So you're going to get an email with one form that you can start filling out, okay? And I want you to start, I want at a minimum add 5 or 10 people to this list tonight when you get that form from me, or you can download it now. I'll show you where to download it now if you want it, or we'll email it. But start building this out. And you can actually download it on command if you wanted to, without waiting for my email. From the command homepage, give this a second load, and you go to your contacts tab, command, contacts on the left, right? I click on that second tile, contacts. On the right-hand side, it's going to say import. Load up for me. Streaming is sluggish on Monday. Computer needs coffee. Everybody see the import button on the upper right-hand side of their contacts page? If you don't see that, you're a little bit behind. It's okay. From command, go to the second applet, which is called contacts. And once you're there on the upper right-hand side, there's an import button. At the top of that page on your import button, it says download template. That'll download the spreadsheet of basic I'm going to send you guys later today. For you Apple people, you got to use Excel. Numbers is a pain in the butt. It doesn't function well from an import standpoint. Utilize Excel. Okay. Download the form and start filling it out. Harvest as much data as you can. Because when you go to import all this information, first time import is always your best. Don't paralyze until you're perfect. Just get as much data as you can. Now, the rest of the week, okay, tomorrow's class is going to be taught by one of my Market Center tech trainers, okay? And we're going to go over contacts and smart plans. I got to delete this. It's going to be updated. This schedule's wrong, so I'm actually going to minimize this. Tomorrow, we're going to do contacts and smart plans. It's going to be taught by one of my fellow Market Center tech trainers. Wednesday, we're going to do designs and campaigns. Thursday, we're going to do opportunities and compliance. And Friday, we're going to do DocuSign and compliance. That's our work. Our week for the work for the week. That's our work for the week. 9 to 11 every day. Please be on time. Yes, everything's recorded. Yes, you're going to get an email at the end of the day with all this information. And yes, I ran a couple minutes long and I'm sorry. But I appreciate you all coming and spending this time with me this week. I hope you found it valuable. And if we close up, who could give me a couple ahas for today? Shane, you had a question. So let's go to you first.
I just want to say that Luma sent you about the tags. The $sign was the issue. I took the $sign out and it worked perfectly.
I'm sorry, I missed that. What?
For tags, when that Loom video I sent you about my tags wasn't working when I was importing, the $sign was the issue. I took the $sign out. It To the
tags.
tag.
That's what you got. Yeah. When you're building tags, guys, you can only use characters. You can't use special characters in tags on the import form. You can't add a special character. So Megan, I see your hand up.
Hey, I haven't gone through my answers tab yet and looked for this answer yet, but I was told that there's a fantastic human who already knows how to upload your contacts if you already have a spreadsheet that's been.
That is correct.
Created. Is that?
So you are correct, and we will cover that tomorrow.
Okay.
And I still think it's important that you know how, right?
Yes.
But Scott Laurie Marketing.
Okay.
So you can go to scottlaurie.marketing.com. All of your market centers has a relationship with Scott. And you can log in by putting in your market center number. So scottlaurie.marketing.com, log in, and your login is your market center number. Okay.
Yep.
And then on there, there's a support where you can send them your spreadsheet and they will import all of your contacts for you. But I will tell you this, be organized for what you send them, right?
Yeah.
So do your due diligence, but yes, they will do that for you. That's
Okay.
part of that process.
Megan, your market center number is 949.
Thank you.
Yeah, does everybody know their market center number? That's a good question. Most people don't.
You know what? That's a good question. So let me share on my slide that had your market center tech trainers on it. I'll bring that back up in 1 second. I actually have your market center number on here. So let me share this for you. Thank you, Leland. So here's your screen with your market center tech trainer. Also, there's a number next to it. That's your number. So if you find your market center, that's the number you're looking for. Antoine, you had a aha for us.
I do not have an aha. I have a question for you.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to download the CSV for the template for importing contacts. And I heard you say that if you're on an Apple to use Excel. However, I'm trying to download it not on an Apple. Do you know what the preferred method is for that? Which app they would like to use?
Well, it's going to use Excel.
Okay, understood. Just want to make sure. Thank you.
Yeah, you got to use Excel. And when you save it, you can save it as a CSV file. Kate.
So my aha is I really appreciate that literally Keller Williams gives you everything you need. And everybody has their own pace. So I appreciate this is going to be amazing. Going to be amazing. Excuse my mumbling. That's
Yeah,
all.
we won't. You guys aren't. I think the biggest concept for most people, if you've come from anywhere else, right, whether it's business or another brokerage, most people realize that it's a sink or swim mentality. And while I reference a lot that I want you to be a self-advocate, we won't let you drown, right? We're here to help you. There's whether it's me, your market center tech trainer, your team leader, there's always other agents. There's always somebody that can help you. So I'm glad you recognize that. Thank you. All right, so we're going to wrap up. We'll see you all tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I think Ruth is on tap for tomorrow to go over contests and smart plans for us. And you all have a great day. Talk to you all soon.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.